A very good morning I bid to the honorable judges. More than years ago, our world was turned upside down by an invincible enemy. It was coronavirus 2019. On the 11th March 2020, WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and before long, we would put on a lockdown. At first, this lockdown translated to a holiday of doing nothing. No school, no homework, and no stress. Sounds like a dream come true, right? Well, little did I know that this so-called holiday would turn into a frustrating nightmare. Children risk being the biggest victims of this pandemic. School closures and social isolation can really impact our happiness and well-being. After weeks of lockdown, I, myself, started to feel bored and anxious about being at home, doing absolutely nothing. Sure, we had Google Classroom, tons of homework, and chores to do, but it wasn't the same. Lockdown was tough. Fortunately, my brother and I had some fun activities. From going to the park, practicing the piano, play mobile games, and cycling. They made a lot of differences to my mood, and slowly, I began to cope to the new norm. I then realized that in order to be happy, I needed to practice self-care. Ladies and gentlemen, what is self-care and how do we practice it? Self-care is deliberately taking care of your well-being through restorative activities. One of the greatest threats for our well-being is physical and emotional stress. Stress is one of the main causes of healthcare issues, and we experience it every day. We experience stress by what we put in our bodies, by having negative thoughts, and the choices that we make throughout our day. We are exposed to constant noise, the TV, the radio, instant chatter, but according to Susanna Winsternson in her TED Talk, the loudest voice of all is the voice in our head. On average, we have 60,000 thoughts per day, and for some of us, 80% of those thoughts are negative. So, how do we shut down all these unwanted noise? By doing restorative activities. The first restorative activity for self-care is to do something that calms you down. When I get stressed, I take a break and start practicing my ballet or piano. It really helps me to relax. Studies have shown that practicing ballet and playing the piano decreases a person's anxiety levels. The second restorative activity for self-care is to spend time outdoors and in nature. Twice or thrice a week, my dad would take me out to the park to play badminton, and it's really something that I look forward to. I get to breathe the fresh air, feel the warm breeze on my skin, hear the birds chirping, and just enjoy nature. The third restorative activity for self-care is movement. Instead of spending too much time on screen or playing video games, we need more opportunities to move and sweat. When we sweat, our body releases a feel-good chemical called endorphins, produced naturally by the nervous system to cope with pain or stress. So, the more we move, the happier we are. And the benefit doesn't stop there. Self-movement can also help us with concentrations, academic achievement, and creativity. Isn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, self-care is simple if we make it so. It doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or time-consuming. All we need to do is prioritize ourselves and do things that uplift us from within. As Oprah Winfrey said, we should put ourselves first because we can't fill from an empty cup. Thank you.